Damn it, Bobby.
Are you ready to get philosophical?
I fucking love this shit.
Beautiful listeners, you are worth all the stars in the sky.
Hell yeah.
And at least 2 perfectly cooked grilled cheeses.
Hell yeah. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Sometimes. He's been known to shit in a liquor tent. Yeah, pick up a book, losers.
Pick up a book, losers.
Welcome to the Based Banter Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another amazing, awesome, spectacular episode. I will be your host today, Jerry, and as always, I'm joined by my best friend and co-host, Joey. Joey, buddy, say what's up, man.
What's up, everybody?
So, man, how you been lately? What's new in your world?
Dude, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, doing a lot of streaming, a lot of writing, a lot of consuming. I just hit book 5 on Dungeon Crawler Carl, and dude, let me tell you, holy fuck.
Tell us what's the hype about? So if you could recommend this book, if you could put it into simple terms to get somebody hyped up for it as much as you are, what would you say? Well,
without giving away any spoilers, I just want to say it's the most unhinged form of content and media that I've consumed. I'm listening to it through the Audible book, and it's done so well. I don't think I'll ever be able to listen to another Audible audiobook and feel the same way again.
See, okay, so I'm also somebody that is consuming Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm not as far as you are. I'm still in book 1, but I've got to say it is an awesome overlap of writing, which is like this sort of elegant sort of media, and then this is a bit crass. It's pretty explicit at times.
Oh yeah, dude. There's meth dealing llamas.
Oh yeah.
Call back.
And that's and that's just in like the first bit of it. And I think it's awesome that it kind of lives in both worlds, because it isn't exactly something super like poetic. It's not something that is elegant, as I said.
Well, I will have to challenge you here, and I know you're not that far into it, and I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I like to think of it as it's kind of like South Park, right? How they like hide a lot of like real content and like real serious subject matter behind this like raunchy kind of creativity, where you see and hear a bunch of like poop jokes, but on the surface it's poop jokes, but underneath there's really like a deep-seated lesson.
It's like, don't get diverticulitis. That will definitely impede your healthy pooping.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's awful.
But anyways, what have you been up to?
Oh man, so here's an update. Update.
There we go.
Yeah, that was it. So we've had an episode about anime. So I am glad to report that, buddy, I have found an anime that I absolutely love.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. What's the anime?
So this anime is called Frieren. I think it's called, so it's like Frieren Beyond the Journey's End. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, dude, this is so good. Everything about it is amazing. So you got the world building, you got the character developments. I saw it described as the genre. The genre is slice of life.
Yes.
And whenever I think of slice of life, I think of like the most boring, mundane shit, where like you just see like a character and they're just like, dude, oh, they're just like drinking a pop and just like eating their lunch, and it's just like, okay, well, yeah.
Bro, some of the best animes are slice of life animes, straight up. Farming Life in Another World, fucking mint, and it's just a dude farming. It's so good.
Okay, so then I imagine there are some challenges and some conflicts, sort of things that come along with farming too, because farming doesn't seem like an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
No, it's not, man. And it's and they go into it in a different way, right? Because it's a farming life in another world where laws and rules don't apply.
And like all of your turnips may explode at any time.
and you might end up having to hire some super attractive elves to farm for you.
Will this carrot give you chlamydia? Find out on the next episode.
But how far are you in free run, by the way?
I have.
So I don't spoil anything.
I have completed the whole first season,
Ooh.
and there's a second season announced for the next year, next month. And oh my gosh, I can't wait. Dude, I've started consuming so much extra media surrounding Freerun. Like, there's even an abridged series on YouTube that I'm really fucking with.
Dude, I fucking love abridged shit. Like, dude, Dragon Ball Z abridged is, in my opinion, just as good as the original shit.
I must say, Dragon Ball Z abridged is fucking mint. It is on a whole nother level. Apparently they had a commendation or some sort of like deal with Kira Toriyama, where he sort of approved of it. Was like, nah, like, you guys are cool in my book. Have you heard anything about that?
I did. Yeah, they got approval from him. They were still having to like dance around some copyright issues, but for the most part, they did get the go ahead to do what they were doing. And dude, it's fucking hilarious. And they have callbacks throughout the whole thing. Like, dude, it's the Nappa and the Nappa Auto Parts is the fucking funniest shit ever. Vegeta. No, it's good shit, man. And I'm glad that you found this new attention and love for anime because, like I said in our past episode, which is out now on Spotify and YouTube, it is our anime episode. You don't have to have a subscription for YouTube. Just subscribe to us so you can follow us and find out some of our new releases. Shameless plug. But I will state that,
link in the bio.
Link in the bio.
You're probably already listening / watching this on YouTube.
Right. And
if you are, you get 5 cool points, and you get to distribute those whenever and however you want.
Hell yeah.
Use them wisely.
But yeah, man. So, from that point on, it seemed like, you weren't quite in on the anime trend yet. And, you had seen a few at the time, but now I think you're starting to kind of get the point I was trying to get across of how important it is.
Yeah, so let me chime in on this because, so my experience was whenever I was a teenager and then the animes would come on after dark. Toonami, shout out Toonami, fucking OG the GOAT. And that was their whole mission too. I learned after the episode that Toonami was specifically for that, to bring anime to a Western audience.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, so whenever like Adult Swim and Toonami came on, that's whenever they play the animes, and I would blame them for putting that on so late. Why I was such a bad student in school. Because, dude, man, I'd be staying up all night watching these excellent freaking shows, dude. Like anything like Cowboy Bebop, my favorite, Inuyasha. Then there was also like Ghost in the Shell, Big O. Like there was some bangers of animes. So, but then after that period of life was over, like the anime wasn't it for me, and I tried getting into it again. I had a bit of connection to like Demon Slayer, dude. I really enjoyed the first season. Maybe it was the first and second, up until the Mugen Train arc. I watched the Mugen Train movie, and then it took too long to come out with like the next season or the next episodes, and I had lost the whole plot. I don't even know what's going on. I tried watching it again, and it's lost its magic to me. So is that something that you can understand and relate and make sense of? Like, what am I doing something wrong, buddy?
No, man, because I used to watch Attack on Titan like from its conception, and then if you started it, it was like 2015, and it wrapped up I think in 2024. So that's 9 years, and they would wait like 2 or 3 years before putting out a season.
That's fucking insane.
And
that's such a long time.
And there was a lot of diverting from the story, new different arcs, a lot of twists and turns. I think I watched that shit from start to finish like 3 or 4 times just so I can keep the plot. So I get that, man.
Okay, so all right, so I shouldn't feel too bad about not being able to keep up, but dude, Demon Slayer's pretty good too. Like from what I remember, dude, I was really excited for like that next season and watched the movie. Super excited, a lot of hype going into that. So,
Yeah, man. And the cool thing about a lot of that stuff, like for me, is the studios, they're all working on many different projects, right? And then they have to partner with all these other teams, and then that's why it takes so long. But here's the thing about anime, right? It's not like the video game industry. They will take that time to make it right. And just you might have to wait a couple years, but you know what? It's gonna come out, and it's not gonna be rushed.
Free Run, I must bring up again, is amazing, and I love it so much.
It is good. It's in my top 5. It's so fucking good.
I'm pretty sure you've recommended it to me before, and even then, it just took being in the right headspace, and it just hit all the freaking right notes. Dude, I've cried watching this anime. I have felt cheer and glee. It has taken me through a range of emotions, man, and I think that's it. That's an awesome form of media.
It is.
And you know what isn't awesome? Another awesome form of media? Music, buddy.
Oh, shit. Segue. We're segueing into the topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm guessing this is what you wanted to talk about today, right?
Yeah, as your host today, man, I want to talk a little bit about music. So a little bit of a foreword. This is a topic that I have brought up before in an unreleased episode that may not ever be released, but I was experiencing some burnout, and a topic near and dear to my heart because I am a musician, and sometimes the imposter syndrome sets in to where it's like, am I really a musician? Because I don't have the big accolades. I don't have anything really to show for it. But as somebody who has practiced in music and understands it, and I've dived into the music theory, so I understand like the nitty gritty parts of it. So I'll say I am a musician without trying to put myself down for not doing more. But music today, man, the aspect of music that really intrigues me the most is the connection and how it brings people together. You and I have gone to some amazing concerts.
For sure.
It's almost guaranteed that whenever you and I go to a concert, they are going to play amazing, and it's going to be a great fucking night.
Yes, sir.
It is just something that's, you know what? It's just what is fated. It is fated whenever you and I sit down or just spontaneously decide to go to a concert, man. We have been to a couple spontaneous concerts. Fucking amazing. And then even the ones that we planned were just as great, like better, exceeding expectations.
Right. This year alone, I think I've went to probably like 28 concerts, not counting the giant festival I went to.
What is it, do you think, that like about music that brings people together?
Well, man, so before I answer that question, I feel a little guilty about this because I used to silently judge a couple friends of ours because they would take off work and they would take time to go to these concerts. This is before I started like really going to concerts. I used to go as a teenager quite a lot, but then I stopped, and I would be like, dude, you're missing out on like hundreds of dollars just to go and listen to music you've already heard before. And I didn't really get it, right?
Okay.
But then I started going, and I was like, oh my God, this is like an amazing experience. To me, I relate it to professional wrestling, where it's like, it gives you that break from reality. All your worries in the world, they turn off. Nothing matters. You're surrounded by like-minded individuals who all have the similar interests in you. It's like you're part of one big giant family, and the creators on stage are just wrapping you and embracing you in a big giant fucking hug. And it's just so amazing. Like, if I could go back to Louder Than Life and re-experience it all over again, I would do it over and over and over.
See, that's really cool. Okay, so to the question, though, what is it about it that you think connects people?
Right. So I think that the connection comes from similar interests, for one.
Okay, because everybody has heard this artist in their own time.
Right.
They have their own sort of intimate connection.
Yes.
Intimate connection with this artist, where they listen to it.
Right.
And it isn't. Whenever people discover artists or they're listening to music in their own time, usually that is like a solo activity to where you are just by yourself and you're like, oh, new band in a shuffle, and then what do you know? that band may be your next favorite band, to where
Right.
you go and spend hundreds of dollars to go see a concert in another town because they ain't playing near you.
Right, and some bands, they're really important to people. Like, the lyrics have pulled them out of dark places where they were suicidal or they were going through something traumatic, and the lyrics and the frequencies and the tone resonated to them, and then the artist resonated to them. It's like they spoke to them. It's like the song and the music and the melody, everything was made for them, and they use it as a tool to pull them out of this kind of like this rut, this hole they're in.
Dude, if I could give you a point, that would be an awesome segue point for what I wanted to go into next.
All right, that's 1 point for a segue for me. Joey has 1 point.
All right.
Jerry has 0.
Spend it.
Oh no,
wisely.
you got one. You also got one. You got the segue earlier.
Oh yeah, I did do that very.
So we're 1 and 1.
magnificently. Okay. All
Now
right.
the point tracker is on.
Okay. So, what was the point?
Fuck.
What were we segue into? We done built up a ladder and fell right off of it.
But I saw this video.
Okay. Hold on. Screw your video.
Screw the video. It's a really cool video.
All right. We got time for a video.
And this Disturbed song is Sound of Silence. Hold on to your thought. Try not to forget. Hang on to it with everything you have. There's this video of Disturbed singing Sound of Silence, or they're about to, and they go down to...
By Seinfeld and Garfunkel?
Yes.
No, wait, that ain't it, is it? Was it a
Yeah.
cover?
It's a cover, yeah.
Okay.
It's a cover, yeah, the Sound of Silence. There, and he's like, it's the sound of silence.
Is that the one that starts off, hello, darkness, my old friend?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. and So the lead singer of Disturbed, he gets down off stage, and the band is playing the melody in the background, and he goes up to this little girl who's probably no older than 7 or 8 years old, and they're holding a sign up that she has like cancer or something, and he's talking to her, he's like hugging her, and he's like, listen to me, you're a soldier, you're the bravest person I know, you're the strongest person I know, do not ever let the darkness win. He's like, there will always be a light in the dark. And he's like, this song is for you. And he's like, goes right into it. He's like, the Sound of Silence. And it's fucking if you don't cry when you're fucking watching that, dude, you don't have a soul. You're straight up an NPC.
Dude, that's so beautiful. And the segue was the tie-in to that music really connects to people, man. It gets people through a hard time. You can listen to something and resonate with it so much where you're just like, this is exactly how I feel. Music is turning feelings into sound. And that sound can be beautiful, man. That sound can help people. It can start movements, man. Dude, music throughout history has been one of the most crucial elements of community.
Right. And I think all aspects of humanity has some kind of music, right? It goes all the way back thousands of years ago.
I don't think you get to have a type of people without sharing some cultural significance in music.
Right. I think it's just that's part of our baked in DNA, our human code, We love frequency. We love sounds. It could be two cavemen together banging rocks together going ooga booga. Ooga booga. Ooga booga. Ooga booga. But yeah,
Yeah. And you know what? Throw in a in there and we're fucking golden.
Ooga booga, oh yeah.
Caveman Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top off the dino bone, yeah.
Yeah, where did we get cream from? How do you know about cream? I'll find you and I'll interrogate you about how you know about cream. These are primitive times, yeah.
Do you think he had some kind of throat cancer or some shit from sounding like that? Like, how do you sound like that?
I would imagine, he's passed and he didn't,
Dude.
but I would imagine that people could get throat cancer from that sort of thing because it is a very abrasive sort of sound to see. Okay, so this is where I know a little bit more about music because I am a vocalist. So you learn a little bit about anatomy of the voice,
Right.
and what it takes to make different sounds in your voice.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck. You don't want to die. You have vital arteries in your neck.
And your vocal cords are there too, buddy.
Sometimes.
Are they? Are they not? Are they in your head? Where the fuck are they? You know anatomy. I don't.
Yes, they're in your neck. And let's see, what was I getting at?
You know a little bit about the social the cancer you get from fucking your throat up if you don't do it correctly.
Right. So, and one of the most harmful and taxing things you can do to your voice is whispering.
Oh shit.
Whispering actually hurts your voice so much.
Oh shit. We're gonna do the rest of the podcast like this just to fuck our voices up.
I'm not, but you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of people that do the impression, the Macho Man Randy Savage impression, burn out their voice within, so long.
Oh shit.
And I think a big part of that is definitely because it uses a lot of the compression. And I've heard, I don't know how much, this is anecdotal and from me reading articles from a long time ago, but I think it can cause cancer.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of metal screaming. If you do it improperly, it'll give you throat cancer, right?
That's a horrible thing to even have to consider and be like, well, I want to express myself in this kind of way. Guess what? Cancer.
Well, imagine you drive to work. Every day you drive 34 minutes to work and you're listening to fucking Slipknot, fucking Lorna Shore, Slaughter to Prevail, and you're out there singing along to these dudes with your untrained vocal cords and you're just like, fucking your shit all up. Next thing you know, you're fucking spitting up blood, shitting out blood, and you're like, why does my throat hurt all the time? You have no idea that there's a right and wrong way to do that shit.
Yeah, and all from the vein of trying to express yourself.
Right.
Which brings me to my next point, which is, what do you think music's greatest function is? Right, okay, so this is a big-ass question. This is the topic, though, because I want to explore you personally. I'm not saying that you know the definitive answer. Because
what do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Because I'm an average guy, right? My experience with music doesn't come from a technical point of view. I do dabble a little bit with like a keyboard, just fucking around. I played a little guitar, played a little drums, mixed little songs online.
Album coming soon.
This one's going to be called "It Cuts So Deep That It Hurts My Soul." But anyways.
It's a country song.
It cuts so deep that it hurts my soul.
Do you have a soul? Do you have another cut?
Cut so deep I can feel the bone. Anyways, but yeah, so I don't really have like a technical background. So a lot of my experience comes from like being a consumer. And I've consumed music my whole life, all the way back to whenever I think I was 8 years old and I received a CD player for Christmas that had a Nelly CD.
Okay, Nellyville.
Or actually, I had a Kid Rock CD, and I traded the Kid Rock CD for Nelly.
That was a good move.
And then me and my brother would swap back and forth because I liked Kid Rock too.
Okay. Hard pass on Kid Rock these days, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm talking old, like, the American Badass and, like, fucking, the
I'm
ball with the ball.
Cowboy, baby.
I'm a cowboy. Or, something like that. We're not going to sing it and get copyright striked. But, yeah, man, so what was the question? How does it affect me? Like
the functionality. What do you think, like, why... or how, or when, or who, or what.
Or him.
And again, why. No,
why?
Music's function, man. Like, what do you think music's function is?
I think music is a form of... It has many different functions, right? It's like medicine. I'm going to take, an Advil to solve like a headache issue. Then I might take like NyQuil to solve a cold. I think with music, you have different kinds of music that are going to help you in different ways.
That's a very insightful, thoughtful answer, man.
Right. So personally, I use music like a medicine. If I'm going through a traumatic event like a breakup, I listen to some serious breakup songs. And if I'm going through to the gym and I want to like have a workout song going, I'm going to have something that's upbeat and hype. And if I want to do some writing, because I listen to music when I'm writing, I'll put on some Hans Zimmerman and I'll listen to some fucking orchestra music. Really boost the creativity.
So it definitely cuts the silence. So
Great background shit.
whenever you are listening to music, there is no silence because of all of the elements of music.
But
And there are some people that push the boundaries of what music can be, but we won't get to that. That's way too abstract.
I know we're on the topic of music, and we're talking kind of a little bit about its functionality, but I would be remiss if I didn't go a little woo-woo and do my typical Joey thing, put my tinfoil hat on, and talk a little bit about the frequencies that go into some of the music, right?
All right, you get another segue point.
So we're two for two now, I think.
Well, you've gotten another one, so that's two at least.
Oh yeah, I counted one. I didn't tell you. Anyway.
Oh shit, he's giving points out now.
But yeah, so I think that there's a lot going on scientifically when it comes to frequencies, because we know sonar is a thing, right? We know animals throughout the
How
animal
does
kingdom.
sonar work?
It's sonar.
Do you know? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No. I've got a very rudimentary elemental explanation for you. It's the way that it works is you have receivers, and then you have this frequency that is distributed.
It's
and
emitted.
It's emitted, and then the sound waves will hit objects, and then that will affect the reflection of the sound waves back
It'll
to
bounce off, and then
the receiver.
sonar is able to receive
Yes,
and then make pictures.
well, yeah, it makes images, and it kind of gives you like a structural layout of a physical world using vibrations and sound.
So what is LiDAR?
LiDAR is very similar. I
That's
think
lasers, isn't it?
they do a
Light.
thing where they scan, and it's with like photons and electrons. It's the same principle, but with light.
We'll get back to you on that.
But yeah, so that's why they call it LiDAR and radar. Light, radar, radar, raisins and I don't know. But
Raisins
anyways,
and darts. You
and-
throw them, and it
yes.
hits a wall, and if it doesn't
But-
stick, it might be a dart.
I think with
Or a
frequency,
raisin.
you have all of this anecdotal evidence of like people claiming that certain frequencies and hertz, sound resonance, have healing properties, and
Problematic.
and then they also, there's things that will shift your mood. There's frequencies that shift your mood. There's frequencies that affect your like and atoms on an atomic level. There's also some scientific information pertaining to high frequencies that shift the atoms of solid objects and can even turn them into a liquid state, right?
Okay, that blows my mind.
Yeah. So there's this scientific study that states every single object of mass on our planet has a frequency. And if you had a device you could tune to that frequency, you could instantly change the object from a solid to a liquid by sending out the frequency patterns, and all of the atoms would start moving around. There's this theory that that's how they created the pyramids and how they shaped some of the blocks.
Okay, so relate this back to music then.
Because it's frequency, back to how it affects your body, right? How like frequency goes through your body, and then your blood is a liquid, and your blood reacts to vibrations. Your organs react to vibrations. You feel it in your bones when you're at a concert, and the music is traveling from your feet to your skull, affecting your very soul. You may not even realize it, but it's most likely the sounds and the frequencies and the vibrations hitting you.
Okay, so here's a good topic, because is it the frequency or the elements of the music that really connects with people? Because, okay, so if you could just like hum out a frequency, I've heard some people say that, oh, this is a healing frequency. But I also hear people relate to the elements of music a lot more, whether that be just like the lyrics
That works
or
too.
the delivery. Like it could be like, oh, well, I just love the sound of a heavy guitar whenever I'm working out.
Well, you also got to think too. A lot of people think one-dimensionally, right? Some people don't have the brain capacity or even the knowledge to think about the entire cake, right? They might only be thinking about the eggs or the sugar. Where all of that is true, every part of that makes the cake, but there's so much more to it.
So what part of the cake would be the icing in music?
Icing, ooh, that would have to be the fucking mastering. You've come up with everything. You've made it all good. Now it's digestible. Now you got to make it perfect.
That's a pretty good answer, man. How do you know about mastering? I think you're a bit of a savant, an idiot savant whenever it comes to music.
I've got a little bit of autism.
He's risen him with the tism. Doing a little music number each day at a time.
Like I said, I've dabbled a little bit in it. I don't know much, but I know just enough to act like I know something.
Do you consider yourself a musician?
No, not even a little bit. I like to fuck around and be creative, man. And the song, I have made 150 songs. I don't know, that seems like a lot, but I have made a bunch of shit. I was fucking around with my keyboard today trying to learn how to play Kanye West Runaway, which sounds like the stupidest, simplest song. It's just like ding, ding, ding. But like, dude, there's so much more to it, right? You gotta hit the right fucking keys, not just the ones that sound right.
So there are a lot of things that go into music. So we can talk about the composition side, and we can also talk
tempo,
about
dude. I'm a white dude. I barely have tempo.
Right. So there's the composition side of where you are writing and composing, and then there's also the performing side to where you are either transposing or you are playing something that was already written. And so there's a lot of elements that go into both, and all of it takes a sense of meter. Do you know what meter is, son? Okay, so meter. So this gets into a little bit of time signatures. It gets into the brainy, sort of cerebral side of the music theory. But okay, before I completely devolve into like this sort of talk.
He's getting technical, ladies and gentlemen. Put your fucking thinking caps on and get your note pens and pads out, and let's take some notes. We're all about to learn.
Let's not. So
I need to learn.
And so just from that alone, right? Because that was starting to crack open a door. That was starting to pinch open the blinds a little bit to see that there's a whole world outside of what's already been written. Because there are so many elements that go into music. Just being a consumer, I can imagine listening to something and being like, something about this sounds off. Like if you're listening to someone that has like produced their own stuff as an amateur, you're just like, something about this sounds off. And then that can go to frequencies too. Frequencies is something that in the mastering process, where some frequencies are more favorable than others, because if you have too shrill of a frequency or too much of like a bass frequency that causes distortion, like the frequencies won't play nice with each other, and that's EQ. That's EQ in it. But to tie that back into the whole discussion about frequencies, maybe there is some way to tie in your mastering to give more of the frequency that gives the desired sort of outcome.
Right. Like when you're making a song, the whole idea is to elicit a reaction and a response or a feeling from your consumer, right? So, you're going to dabble a little bit in the kind of notes and the tone and the lyrics. They're all going to work together in harmony to create that essence and that feeling, right? So that's where the mastering would come into play, where you're really going to drive it home and make sure that feeling has come across.
All right, so now I'm going to give you the bits of brainy little side of it.
Let's go.
Okay, so Western music is tuned to what is called the 12-tone equal temperament. So basically, at 440 hertz, that is an A. So then every note from that point is tuned to that. And 12-tone equal temperament, so that means equally from the 440 to the next octave is tuned to that frequency. And then that's where you end up with these discrepancies, because sound waves aren't perfectly equal. So then whenever you find yourself in different octaves, higher or lower, it ends up creating these overtones, this little mismatch, because 12-tone equal temperament, TET, is really good at what it does, but then there is that downside because, so there's a such thing as like microtonal, and that goes into notes that aren't in this 12-tone equal temperament. And this all ties back into frequencies, because with the microtonal stuff, you can hit notes that aren't in the 12-tone. But what makes the chords sound so amazing is that there is a ratio. I don't want to get too brainy, but like there's a ratio because from like 440 to the third and the fifth, there's like a perfect ratio to where the numbers just line up perfectly, and it sounds so soothing to the ear.
It makes the panties drop, son.
Dude, a perfect A major chord at 440, it's pretty good. And then you got people that have this conspiracy that, oh, well, they tuned everything to 440 because it's
low vibrations.
It keeps people brainwashed because the true frequency is 432.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what my tinfoil hat community has talked about when it comes to that. I think if you look back into like the 1950s, the frequencies and the tone and the beats and the tempo was a lot more of like an upbeat kind of like funky, you know. It was a lot different, right? And it resonated differently with people. But then the conspiracy goes to state that they wanted to control the population, and they wanted to do it through manipulation and utilizing technology. And one of the technologies was through frequencies, because they wanted people to live on a low vibration. They wanted to have low vibrations, which kept people sick, kept people buying medicine, kept people depressed. And if they're not at their full potential, they can't unite and they can't rise up against the great power of the man. Revolt!
Power.
Viva la revolution! But anyways, they don't want that, so that was the conspiracy behind all that. Personally, I don't think they can control what artists create. They may control whether or not an artist gets popular, though.
Yeah, there is an aspect of that they can control, which brings me to my next point. Buddy, you get another segue point. I think
That's 3-1, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I wanted to talk about the states of the industry. So the industry of music as we know it now is dominated by lots of like big artists backed by huge labels. Excuse me,
He's
Cute.
dying over there.
The
low vibration frequencies are keeping them down, man. We
Yeah,
need to pump it
man.
up. We need to pump it up.
It's
Get up and jump around. Jump, 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 jump. Okay, I'm done.
But the music industry, it is so saturated because everyone and their brother can play guitar or sing or just something musical, which discredits the ability of the expression and the creativity it takes to do that.
Does
Okay,
it, though?
It does.
Why?
That is an aspect of human culture that we downplay because, like, oh, well, everybody does it. But no, it is a crucial element of expressing yourself.
So how is it a problem if everybody does it? Sorry, I don't mean to like throw this wrench in there,
so,
but
okay,
I'm
that's
concerned about that.
That is a really good question because
Sounds a little bit like gatekeeping.
People want it to be monetized. They want to go on stage. They want to sing, scream, shout, rap their message, or, you know, even transmute it with their instrument, transpose it with their instruments. But it, like I said, it's so saturated, and we have become so accustomed to, oh, well, I have like a Rolodex of musicians and bands that I listen to. Like, I don't need another. Like, they don't really fit into the whole scheme of it.
But as a consumer, personally, I don't feel that way. Anytime I come across a new band that has a banger of a song, I'm welcoming it. I love that. I have fucking hundreds of bands that I listen to, and I don't find one any more impressive than the other. They're just impressive in different ways.
Right. So what I'm getting at is that the novelty of it sort of gets skewed where... So some people will think they're special and like their message is like above all and the end all be all, and then that's where a little bit of ego comes in. But the fact of the matter is, dude, the fact that we as a human species is creative enough to mess with these frequencies and these vibrations and like warp it and create sound recipes and do awesome, wonderful things. Dude, that's nothing short of a marvel.
Right. I think it's amazing that now we have a a blooming, blossoming community of people who are wanting to experience creating music, creating their own music. To me, I think music is your signature sound, kind of like your soul coming out of your body in a sound way. Like I can't remember how the quote goes, but if it's something like writings are the history, but like music records it or something like that. Let me Google that because
Okay, and then while you do that, I want to say ultimately it comes down to people wanting to express themselves. But I sidetracked myself for my other point that I wanted to make is that our society does not reward people for being creative. It rewards corporations, and it rewards people that are willing to exploit other people. Because
yeah, so to me that sounds like the actual problem with the music industry, not necessarily like the creativity, right? Like,
I mean, that's a little bit of what I was getting at. That was the whole overarching idea, is that the industry itself is a big machine. And the machine works by exploiting the creative people, which is inherently human, which is something that everybody resonates with and needs. I would dare say it is a necessity. Like, as much as you could argue and say that music isn't a necessity, you don't need it in your life. I argue that it is a need, that everybody needs music, whether it be something that they consume or something that they produce, because I believe that there is a song in everybody.
Right. I mean, even with your heartbeat, everyone's heart beats kind of like a melody, right? You know, like it's got its own rhythm, and it kind of sounds like a song. And when you put your head up next to someone who you care about's chest and you hear their heartbeat, it's almost the same as listening to a good song.
That's something really sweet. That I've got to say, my favorite rhythm in the whole wide world is listening to my partner's heartbeats. It is something that is so intimate because there isn't anything beyond that. They can't hide it or manipulate it and be like, oh, well, like that beat wasn't real. Like, that is unadulterated. Like, that is unfiltered. You are listening to somebody's life force continue on. I think that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. And I think I encourage people to fuck around with music, but I definitely think that capitalism and power-hungry humanity it's like that in everything. It's like that in art. It's like that in even creating any form of content. It's not singled out to music alone. It's just a flaw in our societal makeup, right? The encouragement to create shouldn't be flawed, or it shouldn't be discouraged because of the monetary gain you would pursue to receive, or the elite people trying to control that flow of monetary gain. You know, you should be allowed to create whether or not you're making money or not, and you shouldn't care one way or the other. I mean, if you look at the most successful artists, they make the shit they want to make, and then, you know, they may sell out later on. But for the most part, the most successful people don't really give a fuck. They're just out here making good shit.
Well, success can also be subjective, but you were making a really good point about... So I wanted to drive this home, that music became a product.
Yeah.
And a second ago, we were just describing music as a necessity, as something that is just so commonplace that it exists in everybody's lives. But now music has become a product. And a product that you can buy and sell and share with everybody. It creates the feeling that you hope to buy into and share. And now, like I said earlier, it has become saturated.
Right.
Because there is so much stuff to listen to, so many things. And it's become so much of a product. And that product, this is the big controversy in my eyes, is that product has almost become worthless. Because... you can get it for free over the internet. Napster really, like, streaming.
That's
streaming.
illegal.
No, Napster was a legal thing. You could buy songs and stuff. It was an actual valid music outlet at one point. But maybe I'm confusing Napster with something else. But that wasn't what I was trying to get at, though, is that music has become so obtainable where if somebody has to pay for your song, if all of your music is locked behind a paywall, people aren't going to listen to it. And music has become so accessible that it has taken away the value of it and so saturated. Because you know what, if there's only like 5 or 10 or 30, 50 people in the world making music that you could consume, sure, maybe you could paywall it. But now there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people making music. Dude, you can hear music of any style, and it's just about... But that's the thing. Okay, so coming from the place of a musician, somebody that would like to make a career of it in a market that is extremely saturated, in a market that is extremely exploitative, in a market that does not care about your individuality. It cares that you make a product. It cares that you make sales. It cares that you are becoming such a force that your name carries so much weight. And I think that's bullshit, man. I think it's really cool that people can get to that status to where they are elevated. But at the same time, dude, nobody's better than anyone else. I don't care if you're Michael Jackson. I don't care if you're Prince. I don't care if you're Elvis Presley, dude. They aren't better than any fucking buddy. They just make music.
When you speak of it, like when I get what you're saying, right? I get that you're saying it's oversaturated and that it's more like a product. It's less like it's like
less of an experience,
right?
And what you and I love most about music, I will just like generalize and say this: the experience of going and seeing live music.
Right.
Live music is above all.
Right. But let me ask you this: you reflect on it like there was better times. What are these times where it was any different?
That is a fair point. So, even back to a classical era, where music was sort of gatekept, like hardcore gatekept, to where you had to be either in like circles or you had to be rich enough to learn to be taught music from people that I guess knew a little bit more. It was more of a mystery, and now there is no mystery.
So I got some numbers for you, just to kind of like put some of this into perspective about the music industry, and whether this is good or bad, take it for what it is. But the music industry in 2014 in the US was accumulated around $14 billion. How much do you think it's at right now? Going off of what you had been saying, you know, kind of sounds like you would think that it would be trending in a negative sense, right?
I mean, that wasn't what I was going for. I was just saying that it is...
It's less of an experience, more like a product.
And couple that with capitalism,
right,
to where they're trying to make more and more of an addictive product to where you consume more and more of it.
So what do you think the number is now?
It's probably doubled, hasn't it?
It is $30 billion.
Yeah,
it's
just about doubled.
$30 billion industry, and that's just for the U.S. But I will tell you this, you know, that's just in the U.S. Your experience with music is locked in a bubble. If you were to step to Africa and you were to go walk through a village and see a ceremony of a teenager turning into an adult, you're going to see this ceremony of these people performing this ritualistic song and dance where they put on this garment, and there's people all in a circle playing their drums like and they're fucking...
Is this something you know about, or are you making this up?
No, I'm not making this up. This is a real thing.
Okay.
And many different traditions do this. It's not just linked to Africans. Indians did it. Different Aboriginal tribes do it. This is a cultural thing where music is not just a product in their eyes. In their eyes, it's a spiritual experience, kind of like what you were wanting and how you expect the music industry to be. But in the U.S., we're so capital driven that we've monetized a spiritual experience for monetary gain. So I'm kind of getting where you're coming at with it, and why it's so revolting and insulting, because they're taking it's like selling Christianity. It's
like taking water and selling it back to people and being like, don't deserve water unless you can pay for it. And
but
you can get water from the sky, dude. You can purify it. Like, water is all around you. We can make water. We can...
Right. It might not be as good.
It might not be.
It might be
as
a little
good.
bacteria filled, but
It
same thing with
might-
music.
It might be piss.
I do think that a good artist who puts a lot of work and time and effort into creating music should be compensated fairly. And that is my biggest gripe with a lot of these like consumable like platforms. Like I love Spotify. I've used Spotify for a better part of like 8 years now. But from the reports that I've gotten from a lot of the musicians and artists who report back their earnings from Spotify, it's minuscule to the amount of playtimes and listens they get. You got artists who get billions of playtimes making just tens of thousands of dollars off of it. That doesn't sound right to me.
And then you have a Spotify, this mega corporation. This is going to be played on Spotify, but this mega corporation that gets...
We're not disparaging Spotify. It's just it's part of this capitalist fucking issue.
This is calling it how we see it because they get a lot of money from advertisers in the middle of all of these plays before you can even listen to a song sometimes. They give you an advertisement. You have to pay a subscription. They are receiving a lot of money that does not get distributed to the people that contribute the most to their platform. And I think that in itself is just greed. It's real greedy.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit dirty, but like again, you got to ask the question of how we don't know what it takes to run a company like Spotify. And also a lot of these artists who get these listens, these billions of listens through Spotify, they're benefited in a different way. These listeners are able to find these artists, fall in love with them, and then they see they're on tour. Now they're going to concerts, buying merch.
Are you saying they get paid in exposure?
I mean, dude, for lack of better terms and words, pretty much, yeah. It's like if I were to buy a CD and then say, dude, this song, this CD is fucking amazing. Here, listen to it. You can borrow it for a little bit, and then I'm going to take it back. And then you heard it, you're like, dude, that CD is fucking sick. I want to go see that band live now. You didn't own the CD. You don't own it. But since you got experience from listening to it, now you're a follower of the band. You're buying tickets. You're buying merch.
I've heard bands referred to as traveling t-shirt salesmen because that's how they are able to make their living.
Pretty much, man.
And that disparages me so much because I don't want to sell merch, dude. I want to play music and connect with people and have experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Right.
And that's one of the things that keep me from really trying hard at music because I know it will eventually become its own entity.
I think, and look, dude, I don't have any kind of like experience in the music industry, but I do have experience in professional wrestling, and I can very much relate by stating that I just wanted to create a great story, go out there and perform really well and be appreciated for my performance. But if I wanted to make money, I had to sell merch. Have to sell t-shirts, have to sell fucking little items like water bottles, squirt bottles. We sold some of the dumbest shit to people to make money. Dude, me and my friend used to sell spray bottles. We would buy them at the store for $1, deck them out with decals, and sell them for $10.
At what point is this exploitative, though?
But it's the fans want that shit, though, because we carried water bottles out to the ring. The point is...
Okay, but pull back the veil and they're like, okay, well, this spray bottle cost me $1 and I scribbled some shit on it and I'm upcharging you $10.
The point is...
That's exploitative. I think if me as a consumer, knowing them, just like, well, shit, I don't want your fucking $10 spray bottle.
Right, but... it's all about supporting the artist. The reason we sold them for $10 is because we were wrestling for pennies on the dollar. We weren't getting paid. It goes right back to music, dude. Since they're not getting paid for their proper exposure that they're getting, they have to do a little bit of some dancing around merch to make the money that they deserve. It's the same fucking thing we had to do. We was like, dude, we're not making the money we need for the work we're doing, so we have to find a way to use our likenesses and make that money.
There's got to be a balance, though, where you can still have your ethics and morals.
The balance
and
is...
still be able to experience and, make that connection and as well be able to sustain yourself from it.
Look,
because all of that makes me feel bad. If I am out here, like... upcharging and making stuff into what it wasn't just so I can make a buck, knowing that this person that really supports me and loves what I do and believes in my vision, like I have to, bend some corners. You get what I'm saying?
From a consumer point of view and from a creative point of view, I get what you're saying, but from a consumer point of view, I wouldn't mind buying some shit like that. It wouldn't bother me at all to know that I'm supporting an artist that I care for and that I love. I buy t-shirts all the time from bands.
Even if you knew you was getting exploited.
Even if I knew.
Even if you knew that you could directly donate $5, or you could buy this thing that was worth 50 cents and they're upcharging you $10 for it.
As long as I knew that money was going to support the band, it wouldn't bother me one bit, dude.
Yeah, I could see this.
Yeah, as long as I know that like they're getting compensated properly for the product that I'm consuming, I'm cool with that.
Even if they think they're getting one over on you.
Even if they think they're getting one over on me, let them think that, even though they shouldn't want to do that because that's immorally incorrect. But the again, it goes back to what I say. I think they're backed into a corner. Like you said, it's an oversaturated product that it's hard to make money in. So these artists had to get creative to come up with ways to make money, and they're doing it in kind of not shady, but they're doing what they have to do to pay the bills.
So you got to respect the hustle.
You got to respect the hustle, and you got to support the people you want to support. Because that's not a problem. As a consumer, dude, I'm here for it. If you want me to buy your shit, a $45 t-shirt is expensive as fuck, all right?
Dude,
but I'll buy it.
That is an excellent point to drop this home, because you know what? If you really like our products and if you really support us, man, hey, if you don't have any final thoughts, then I will drop this home.
I do have one kind of final point that I wanted to add to all of this is, sure, we kind of went a little bit in on the capitalist point of it, but I don't want people to go away thinking that all music is just a business, right? The last thing I want you to hear come out of my voice is that the main thing is what Jerry has been trying to drive home this whole time. It's the experience, right? It's that connection. And personally, as a consumer, I will always listen to music till I'm old and gray. I will go to concerts. I will keep buying the t-shirts. I will keep subscribing. I will keep following the bands because it's a part of my life. I'll keep making the shit very poorly and very shittily. I'm just like you, dude. I will never force anybody to buy my shit. And I will never exploit anybody for that. Unless I get mega rich off of it. But anyways, I won't, I promise. But the point is, I think that it's a beautiful thing, and it's part of our human culture, and it's an important topic, and I think more people should talk about it, and we need to address some of these exploits that are going on, and we need to make, and more people talking about it, I think we can drive home a change for these artists to get compensated properly. And that's my goals and my hopes with creating a topic such as this and putting it out there in the airwaves for people to listen to.
Dude, that was very well said. And my final takeaway is that music is something that we do even without realizing it, because we live our lives in harmony. We live our lives to a rhythm. We live our lives with a melody, a purpose. And, man, music is life. And music is also a conversation. And if you want to keep the conversation going, oh, buddy, you can follow me at Jerry Contrite on Instagram. You can follow Joey on his Twitch channel at Arcano Joe.
Yeah.
You can follow our podcast on Instagram, Bass Banter Podcast, Facebook, Bass Banter Podcast, or on X, which is Bass Banter Pod. And our Discord, oh man, we are cooking that sucker up. It may be a little burnt, but it's doing something. A little something. You can also find us on YouTube as well at the Bass Banter Podcast. And you know what? This has been an awesome discussion, man. Let's keep this conversation going.
I'm all for it. And if you want to ride on board with us, all I gotta say is,
come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. And Jerry, come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. And Jerry, come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. And Jerry, That's
Yes,
all
sir.
I got to add to it, buddy.
All right, this has been the Base Banner Podcast. Peace.